On October 14, 1993, Catherine Morrison kissed her two daughters goodbye, walked out of her suburban Denver home to buy groceries, and vanished without a trace. For 31 years, her family searched. For 31 years, police had no leads. For 31 years, everyone assumed the worst. But when investigators finally discovered where Catherine had been all this time, the truth was so disturbing, so unthinkable, that it would shake an entire community to its core. Before we dive into this haunting case, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every subscription helps us bring justice to the voiceless and shine light on cases that desperately need attention. Your support could help solve the next cold case. Catherine Morrison was 34 years old, a devoted mother, a beloved elementary school teacher, and by all accounts, living a quiet, happy life in Lakewood, Colorado. Her daughters, Emma and Sarah, were 8 and 11 years old that October morning. Her husband, David Morrison, told police Catherine left around 10:30 a.m. for the grocery store. She never arrived. Her 1989 Honda Accord was found 3 days later in a King Soopers parking lot. Keys still in the ignition, her purse on the passenger seat, with $47 in cash untouched. There were no signs of struggle, no witnesses, no surveillance footage. This was 1993, before cameras were everywhere. Detective James Holloway, the lead investigator, said something felt wrong from day one. The scene was too clean, he later recalled. When someone vanishes this completely, it's rarely random. David Morrison appeared on local news, pleading for Catherine's return. He organized search parties. He cooperated fully with police. He passed a polygraph test. The case went cold within 6 months. This case sat untouched for 3 decades, but new technology would eventually crack it wide open. Stay with me. The twist in this story is something you won't see coming. And if you're finding this case as compelling as I am, tap that like button. It tells YouTube to share this story with more people who care about justice. Emma and Sarah Morrison grew up without their mother. They celebrated birthdays, graduated high school, got married, all while wondering if Catherine was alive somewhere, thinking about them. David remarried in 1998 to a woman named Linda Hartwell. The family moved to Boulder. Life, as much as it could, moved forward. But Emma, the younger daughter, never stopped searching. As an adult, she became obsessed with her mother's case. She created a Facebook page in 2015 called Find Catherine Morrison that attracted thousands of followers. She hired private investigators with her own money. She submitted Catherine's DNA to every database available. I had this feeling, this knowing, that my mom didn't just disappear, Emma told a local reporter in 2019. Someone knew something. Someone was hiding something. Her sister Sarah was more pragmatic, more resigned. Emma, we have to let her go, she'd say. It's been 25 years. She's gone. But Emma couldn't let go. In 2022, she made a decision that would change everything. She convinced her father to let her search through old family storage boxes in his attic. Boxes that hadn't been opened since 1993. What she found in those boxes would lead to the most shocking discovery in Colorado cold case history. The evidence Emma discovered was so disturbing that when she brought it to police, they reopened the case immediately. Before I reveal what she found, make sure you're subscribed. We're covering cases like this every week, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Inside a dusty cardboard box labeled Catherine's Teaching Supplies, Emma found her mother's personal journal, one the police had somehow missed in their original investigation. The entries from September and early October 1993 were chilling. September 3rd, 1993, David's been acting strange lately. Secretive phone calls. Coming home late. When I ask questions, he gets angry. Angrier than I've ever seen him. September 18th, 1993. I found receipts for a storage unit I didn't know we had. When I asked David about it, he said it was for his business equipment. But David doesn't have a business. What is he hiding? October 8th, 1993, 6 days before Catherine disappeared. I followed David to the storage unit today. Unit 247 at Secure Space on Wadsworth Boulevard. I didn't go in. I'm scared. I think he's having an affair. Or worse. I don't know what to do. I can't tell anyone yet. Not until I know for sure. October 13th, 1993, the day before she vanished. Tomorrow, I'm going to confront him. I'm going to demand to see what's in that storage unit. The girls deserve a father who tells the truth. I deserve a husband I can trust. That was the last entry. Emma immediately called Detective Maria Gonzalez, who had taken over the cold case unit. Within 48 hours, they had a warrant. What police found in that storage unit, still rented under David Morrison's name after 31 years, would answer every question about Catherine's disappearance. But the answer was more horrific than anyone imagined. Stay with me, and if this case is gripping you like it gripped me, drop a comment below. What do you think they found? On March 15, 2024, police executed the warrant on Storage Unit 247 at Secure Space on Wadsworth Boulevard. David Morrison, now 67 years old, was brought in for questioning. He insisted he'd forgotten about the unit, that it probably just had old furniture. When investigators opened the unit, they found it meticulously organized, boxes labeled by year, furniture covered in plastic, and in the back corner, behind a false wall constructed from plywood, they found Catherine Morrison. She wasn't dead. She was alive. Catherine Morrison had been living in that 10 by 15 storage unit for 31 years. The unit had been modified with soundproofing, a ventilation system, a chemical toilet, and a small refrigerator. There was a cot, boxes of non-perishable food, and jugs of water. The door had been fitted with a lock that could only be opened from the outside. Catherine, now 65 years old, was emaciated, confused, and suffering from severe psychological trauma. She barely spoke. She didn't recognize her own daughters. Medical exams revealed she had been sedated regularly, likely with benzodiazepines, to keep her docile. David had been visiting the unit 2 to 3 times per week for over 3 decades, bringing food, water, and medication. This case shocked the nation when it broke in 2024. The psychological manipulation, the decades of captivity, the fact that David Morrison had remarried and lived a normal life while keeping his first wife imprisoned. It's almost impossible to comprehend. If you want to see more cases where justice finally prevails, subscribe and turn on all notifications. David Morrison was arrested and charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, and attempted murder. His second wife, Linda, claimed she had no knowledge of Catherine's captivity, though prosecutors suspected otherwise. During the trial, the full horror emerged. Catherine had confronted David on October 14, 1993, demanding to know what was in the storage unit. David, who had been using the unit to hide evidence of embezzlement from his employer, panicked. He couldn't let Catherine expose him. He drugged her coffee that morning, drove her to the storage unit, and locked her inside, intending to kill her later and dispose of the body. But he couldn't do it. Instead, he kept her alive, visiting regularly, convincing himself he was protecting her, that she was safer there than in the world. Over the years, his delusion deepened. He believed he was caring for her, that he loved her. The psychological term is captivity bonding, taken to its most extreme form. Emma Morrison testified at the trial, reading from her mother's journal. "My mother wrote that she deserved a husband she could trust," Emma said through tears. Instead, she got 31 years in a concrete box. In September 2024, David Morrison was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Catherine Morrison is now in a specialized care facility, receiving treatment for complex PTSD and the physical effects of 3 decades of captivity. Doctors say she may never fully recover, but she's slowly beginning to recognize her daughters. Emma visits every day. Catherine Morrison's case reminds us that cold cases are never truly cold. They're just waiting for someone who refuses to give up. Emma's determination to find the truth saved her mother's life, even if it came 31 years too late. If this story moved you, please share it. Someone watching might have information about another missing person case. Your share could bring another family closure. The Morrison case is now studied in criminal psychology programs across the country. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the most dangerous person is the one sleeping next to you. Catherine Morrison spent 11,323 days in captivity. That's 271,752 hours. Over 16 million minutes of stolen life. But she survived. And because Emma never stopped searching, Catherine is finally free. This is Faceless Justice, giving voice to the voiceless and light to the darkest corners of true crime. Subscribe for a new case every week. Hit the bell icon. And remember, justice may be delayed, but it's never denied when someone refuses to stop fighting for the truth.